All right, everybody, welcome back to my channel. Yes, I haven't been on here in a little while, but that's okay. I'm wanting to everybody to share, like, give me some responses and everything. Matter of fact, I want to talk to you about why Miss Harris lost. She was the one saying, that she wanted to say that she would work the first 100 days to help Congress pass a national ban on price gouging. And I always say, why didn't you do it now? Why didn't you do it 2, 3 years ago? You know, it's price gouging for food, and to give the Federal Trade Commission and prosecutor authority to go after companies that determine the price gouging. I mean, they determine who price gouge and everything like that. They want to go in here in support of small businesses, in the industry and take a closer look at mergers between big grocery companies and aggressively investigate price fixing in meat, supplies, chains, I mean, the supply chain for meat and all that stuff. Specifically, hamburger meat, stuff like that. So I don't understand why they want to do that. Price gouging, how can you define what price gouging is? Let's see, I buy something for 50 cents and sell it to you for $2. Is that price gouging? And no, that's what you call profit margin. So and then she started talking about house costs, housing, how much it costs for a house to purchase these days. I looked into that market for just a little bit. And mind you, all this here is just my view. And I looked into that market just to see what was going on. And there were houses around here that 4 or 5 years ago were going for, let's just say, 125, 150, something like that. Now they're at 300,000. Why? She says housing costs, Harris wants to provide $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. Okay, let me stop right there. Where's she going to get this money? Where's that coming from? The 32 trillion that we're in debt now? How can you keep writing checks when you're 32 trillion in debt? And she's calling for a creation of 3 million new housing units within the next 4 years if she became president, which she did not. And proposing a tax credit for developers who build starter homes and investing 40 billion in an innovation fund to tackle housing shortages. Well, I tell you what, why don't you throw something out there that says, hey, I'll pay your house off? No, you didn't do that. Threw money to Ukraine. How many billions to Ukraine? Billions to other countries, billions to everybody, except for the American people. Granted, I guess other nations need help, but they got to pay us back with 25% interest. Like your credit card kind of thing. Rental cost. Harris says that she would also expand a tax credit for housing developers who build affordable housing rental units and is calling on Congress to pass legislation to stop allegedly predatory investors who buy up rental properties and collude with each other to raise rent prices. Well, it's rental. I mean, if I'm going to rent my house for, let's just say, 1,200 a month, and I say, well, I'm going to go up a little bit. That's my decision. That's not the government's decision. And if you want to pay 1,250 or 1,300, you're good. Don't worry about it. And 2 years later, I want to go up a little bit more because the air conditioning unit went out or price of living's going up, things of that nature. But other than that, price increases to me, if you set the price at, like I said, $1,200 a month uh, for your rent, leave it at that. I mean, $1,200 a month is well over 12,000 a year coming in. Uh, and if your place is new, if it's brand hammer new, I mean, that's just money just coming in. And Harris proposed giving families a $6,000 tax credit for newborns in their first year of life. Let's see here. I was a newborn. I'm single, but I don't get none of this. You single people are pretty much screwed. So, and restore a pandemic era, okay, tax credit of $3,600 per child for middle and low class families. So let's see here. You've got people that are probably homeless now. Of course, this hurricane that come through here in North Carolina screwed up a lot of stuff. I mean, it tore shit apart. And then they're going to give billions more to Ukraine, uh, South Africa, uh, any other country other than this one, us, and then raise taxes. That's what you want to do, is raise taxes, just like Joe Biden said he was going to do, and everybody still voted for him. Or did they? On the voting, whenever all the votes come in and the counts were done and everything like that, there was over 13 million votes missing. What'd y'all do? Sit at home? That was Biden's people. He got 81 million. She got like 68, 69. So where are the other 13 million at? Explain that one. I mean, I'm going to come up with all kind of stuff here, people, and I need people to just elaborate a little bit for me. Harris also wants to expand the earned income tax credit for workers in lower income jobs. Why are they lower income jobs? $12 an hour? You can't live off of that. Hell, the $7.50 minimum wage is garbage. You can't live off of that. She said, which would cut taxes up to $1,250. What's that, about 3 trips to the grocery store? And as previously said, she would continue President Joe Biden's promise not to raise taxes. He said he was going to raise taxes, and he did. And not to raise taxes on American households earning $400,000 or less annually. And does support raising taxes for high-earned or corporations, according to the New York Times. So let me see here. If I want to get my business going, and my business becomes huge, I mean big time, let's just say a dry cleaning business, just for the heck of it. People always need their clothes washed and cleaned and everything like that. And my business bust out, and I made the first year made $150,000 profit. And then the next year, $900,000, because I opened up 2 other stores. So I've got to let the government steal money from me and then label me as a taxpayer. And everybody's good with that. The way I see it, no matter how much money you make, and this goes to the billionaires, millionaires, trillionaires, whatever kind of area, I'm a thousandaire, so I'm good with that. Anyway, $20, $25 out of your paycheck, out. No percentage, because the more you make, the more they take is the thing. And she was saying no tax on tips. Why would you tax tips? Most of the time, that is cash. Harris has separately endorsed a plan to get rid of taxes on tips for hospitality and service workers, and echoing a proposal from President Donald Trump whenever he was in office, which has been criticized by some experts. But whenever she says it, it's all okay. It's good. Though a campaign of official told on CNN, tips would still be subject to payroll taxes, and would include an income limit and guardrails to prevent people like hedge fund managers from taking advantage of the policy. You mean like government does of the policies of not paying taxes? How many of these government officials don't pay taxes? Get back with me on that one. Anyway, prescription drug prices. Harris proposed a $35 cap on insulin. Well, that didn't work. And capping out-of-pocket expenses, prescription drugs at $2,000 a year. Also saying she would speed up Medicare negotiations on the price of prescription drugs. After the Biden administration announced a deal lowering costs on 10 medications. I mean, don't you have insurance? Insurance should take care of all of that. They said they want to crack down on anti-competitive practices in the pharmaceutical industry that causes higher prices. Nah, I'm like everybody out here. What causes higher prices is that big G word, greed. And there's an ass ton of it out there. Greed, and nothing but greed. What was that? There was an insulin injector that you can inject into your leg. They were selling them for, I think it was $30 or something like that. Then they found out that everybody needs them. They jacked it up to 500 plus. Greed. It's all there. Think about it. Anyway, Harris' campaign also announced her intention to work with the states to cancel Americans' medical debt. And she proposed expanding subsidies, for Affordable Care Act plans that would save health insurance customers an average of $700 on their health insurance premium. You're gonna cancel all of it. I tell you what, if I was the healthcare people and someone owed me, say, five, six, $7,000, and they're on a payment of $100 a month, and then you want to cancel all that, that money's got to come to me somehow. And that's how them people look at it. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Then I tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to provide you with any health care. They'd rather see you die, than you get in debt with them, you know. And Harris also says something about paid leave. She hadn't released a specific paid leave proposal at that particular time before she lost the election, but she has previously co-sponsored a 12-week paid leave legislation. And she absolutely believes that when they are in office, they will get a paid leave bill done. Finally, paid leave. Let's see here. I agree with paid leave on pregnancies, and if you get in an accident, you have to look at that. I mean, paid leave should be with pregnancies and unforeseen things like accidents. Everybody would probably want to look at that one. It wouldn't be as set with paid leave for being pregnant versus being in an accident, or let's just say you had a heart attack or something like that. You would get some paid leave, most definitely. I mean, something like that stuff. But she also was talking about minimum wage. Harris called for raising the minimum wage in a Las Vegas speech, in August. But her campaign has not specified on how she believes it would be raised. Let me see here. Raise it up. Just raise it up. What do you want to go up to? Well, let me see. If they go up to, let's just say, $10 an hour, $12 an hour is the minimum wage. Yes, you're going to be paying $15 for a freaking McDonald's hamburger. So you have to figure out all that. And whenever you go to a restaurant, you're going to be paying $100 a person because they got to pay these people the minimum wage of $15 an hour or $12, whatever. It all pans out to where you and I will definitely pay for the pay raises. Definitely. Somehow, somewhere down the road, you will pay for them. And, the Fed independence. Harris has vowed to maintain the Federal Reserve's independence after Trump said he believed the president should have at least a say-so on the Federal Reserve's decisions. And Harris telling reporters that, the Fed is an independent entity, and as president, she would never interfere in the decisions that the Fed makes. Why not? Why not? Matter of fact, why don't we do away with them, do away with the taxes, and use all of the money if we want to get taxes and everything versus taxes, all the stuff that comes into the United States with tariffs. Use that tariff money, jack it up 50%, jack it up 45, 40%, like our taxes are. Get rid of them. Get rid of the taxes. And like I said earlier in this segment, I agree with $25. Throw them $25 out of each paycheck. I don't care if you make 10 million a year or 10,000 or whatever. $25 is going to come out of your paycheck, and throw it to them. As for state taxes, dump that. Don't need no state taxes. And she said on day one she would start implementing her economic agenda. The vice president said one of her highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. Arguing that while she believes that Biden administration has done good work on the economy, there is more to do. Let me see here. You are in the Biden. Matter of fact, you're the second person in charge in that administration. Why haven't you done it? I know Biden, I think I got the numbers the other day. Correct me if I'm wrong. Spent over 500, I think it was 530 days on vacation throughout his whole time he's been in office. So that's a lot of vacation days. Paid, as a matter of fact. She also said on day one, she would give people a $6,000 credit for one child of the first year. She said she wanted them to buy a baby seat, baby crib, and blankets. Let's see, a crib and baby seats. I'm going to say $600, and then blankets another $100. But you're going to get 6,000. So with all this being said and everything, I mean, if everybody agrees with what she wanted to do and you voted for her, that's fine. You can throw your vote out there, you know. But if you voted for her because she's a black woman, well, that's not the. I wouldn't go that way. I didn't vote for Trump because he's a white guy. Matter of fact, I don't even like Trump that much. But I like what he says. I like what he says because he'll do what he says. And whenever he gets into office on the 20th, we're going to see what happens. There's going to be a lot of changes. Hopefully, he can get rid of the taxes, get rid of daylight savings time, but at least drop these taxes to where no state tax. I love no state tax. I would love it where it's only 3%. I mean, if I can't do the $25 thing, you guys think about it. Let me know, and then come on back to me, and we'll go from there. But I've got a couple of sayings that I like to tell everybody, you know, and everything. But you know, nobody is more focused on trashing your name than someone who's worried that you'll tell the people the truth about them. You know, that's a saying that can roll pretty good with you. You just got to use it in certain situations. But yeah, all of this stuff. Matter of fact, I was talking about her not being the nominee. She was not. She got no votes, 0 votes, 0. And how could they just take her and say, yes, here you go, here you go, here you go, you can have it, go at it. And people were voting for her because they don't like Trump. I don't like him either. I don't like his attitude. I don't like the chip on his shoulder. But like I said earlier, I like what he says he's going to do. And that's the thing. Whenever he says he's going to do something, he'll do it. Yeah, this video is going a little long, but it's already at 17 minutes. Anyway, I already said one little saying, so I got another one for everybody that's going to really do you really well. And I'm going to end this video. So everybody was asking for me to do one on the election. I mean, Trump got over 17 million votes to be the nominee, and Kamala got over on Joe Biden, and she was nominee, so she didn't get no votes, 0. And whenever she came out here to North Carolina, remember that, and she was saying everybody gets $700. I looked around like I could use it. I could use $700. But then people that lost their house could probably use a decimal at the $70,000 range kind of thing or more. So also, who was that? FEMA said $750 you can get. Man, I tell you what, let's change the state of North Carolina to Ukraine, and let's see let's get $100 billion into this state. See what happens then. I bet you everybody gets their shit fixed. Anyway, people don't abandon people they love. People that abandon people they were using. Just remember, if people abandon you and say, "I'll see you later," blah blah blah, let them roll. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching, and Flint's out.